So NBC5 investigates a Trump administration plan to defund and potentially dismantle the primary federal law enforcement unit that goes after drug cartels and other global criminal networks.
Our investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy talked with the legendary Chicago lawman who took down drug lord El Chapo about these controversial changes on the horizon. Chuck, you're here now with some late details for us.
Allison Stephan, at the Drug Enforcement Administration tonight in Chicago and across the U.S., there may be a feeling of insecurity after the preliminary and primary umbrella agency that oversees task force investigations has been targeted for closure. Memos now being delivered informing thousands of agents and supervisors that by September 30th, the plug will be pulled on America's law enforcement superstructure that coordinates drug cartel cases, human trafficking prevention, and organized crime matters. Drug lord El Chapo is in custody because of the intense investigative work coordinated by America's Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Forces, also known as OCDF. In Chicago, DEA Special Agent in charge at the time, Jack Riley, led a crusade to track and arrest Joaquin El Chapo Guzman.
I think it's a tremendous issue, and unless there's an alternative funding plan.
Tonight, Riley tells NBC Chicago that the White House planned to scrap a 40-year-old Reagan-era task force structure that links together prosecutors, police, and intelligence agents will also interrupt a several billion-dollar pipeline that funds local law enforcement programs by seizing drug cartel assets and sharing them with municipalities.
If you look at what we did in Chicago, I mean, the Chicago Strike Force was started with that money. It pays overtime training for state and locals who are crucial to everything we do.
The task force model and much of the funding about to be turned off has gone to officer training, a key component of bringing down organized crime groups, including drug cartels.
There's a whole section in DOJ that's set up to monitor that, to disperse the money, and then to audit its use. So it would really halt day-to-day operations. And you'd get in a situation, Chuck, where you have a smaller police department that doesn't have the resources. They may be pulling their men and women out of federal task forces because they can't foot the bill.
And if that happens, then cartel kingpins such as El Chapo's son Ovidio might never be captured. Tonight, like his infamous father, Ovidio Guzman is in custody because of the task force work. Ovidio flown to Chicago last year by authorities, where this new court filing tonight cites a guilty plea agreement has been struck with prosecutors and a change of plea hearing set for early July. Should that surprise anybody?
You know, really not. This is kind of their playbook. Stretch this out as long as they possibly can.
Jack Riley is retired from DEA, but still consults members of Congress on drug cartel and law enforcement issues. Tonight, Riley says he hopes there is still time for some alternative funding and a plan to not lose momentum in U.S. cartel investigations. Justice Department officials have said that counter-narcotics efforts will continue, but no details on what that will look like or what will happen to the thousands of investigations currently underway. Something will have to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Chuck, we know you'll stay on top of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chuck.